Eddie G's Music World, January 27th, 2020. Yes. I almost didn't have anything ready for this show. Wiring was bad yesterday, needed the internet provider to come over, spend 3 hours rerouting wires, cutting them, replacing them, going out in my backyard, you know, cutting them in two rooms in the house and rerouting them. It was absolute madness. Madness, I say. But look, this is what it is. I mean, life is not an easy thing. So I'm going to talk a bit about a couple of things that really bothered me. One thing is, I don't know this. I watched the Grammys. I find it weird that these new singers all have to be rebels. This Lizzo gets up there, she can sing, she plays flute, but in order to make a name for herself, she has to swear just because that's the thing to do when you want to be like a big deal. You got to be different, swear, scream, and yell. Well, even though that's been going on for like 50 years, 60, 65 years, that musicians have to act bizarre to get attention. You have to be different. Before you had to look like everybody else, now you have to look like nobody else. So you got to be a big girl. You got to swear. And that's helping her, I guess, get her career started. Then you get this other guy dressed in bizarre blonde hair, and he's running around with all his 20 clones. I forget his name. But anyway, look, I watched an hour. I watched the hour of the preview of the show, like the red carpet. And that was kind of sort of interesting. I recognized a few of the characters, music people, and a few I didn't. But look, they're all trying to be noticed, and with their dresses, like Ariana Grande, they have like 6 foot long trails to their dresses, and I don't know. It's a weird business. Never really could figure all of these things out, but it works for some people, not for most. It's okay. But again, I see Sharon on the red carpet, and then I'm thinking, wow, there's no job Sharon Osbourne doesn't get. She just sits there. They call her for everything. But what does she do that really bugs me? Well, what it is, all the cosmetic surgery gets on my nerves. She was asked on the talk, and she said, they said, what do you do? How do you deal with aging, Sharon? She says, I just go to the doctor. So, which means plastic surgery. She get these big fake lips. And this, yeah, I understand. You want to look young. You want to look hot. You're 68 years old. Okay, I understand. You're not pretty. You never were pretty. I don't hate you for what you're doing. You're a great manager. You've taken a crotchety old man and created like an empire out of him, Ozzy Osbourne. But I mean, the whole thing, she's on the talk and she does the red carpet. And the thing that bugged me the most is Good Morning America on ABC about a week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And she's there with her ailing Aussie husband. And yes, she's made millions for him that other managers would not have been able to pull off because she's a very cunning manager and she's a very good organizer. So she's done great things financially for him. But here she is, and she's saying, Aussie has Parkinson's, and it's real terrible. But he's itching to go out on tour. He loves the people. I can't deny him. He's driving me crazy in the house, Aussie is. And we have to do what's right for the people. They want to see Aussie, and he wants to perform. He loves to perform. His his heart is in it, and I can't deny him the joy of running into the arenas and playing. And there he is talking. Look, he's done drugs. He's had problems. He's fallen down. His spine. I'm not putting the guy down for being ill. But for Christ's sake, Sharon, you think I believe you when you make it sound like you trotting the old man out on stage for another 6 months? That it's all about how much you want him to enjoy his excitement of performing? when we all know the shows are sold out. You canceled them last year. The money's sitting in escrow probably, or maybe you got part of it, and it kills you that the 120 million or so you have with him isn't enough, and he's ailing, dying, sick, barely talk. There he was on the fucking Grammys with his daughter propping him up. Kelly, good for her. She loves her dad. I don't care. And he's like, hey, I'm going. They asked him, how are you doing? Are you okay for the tour? Hey, well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I think I can do. And he's not falling down, but he's tilting left. He's tilting right. He's got a cane. Let's be honest here. Ozzy may really love performing, and he does love it, even though he was a common criminal when he was 17 and couldn't figure out what he wanted to do with his life, and he was breaking into stores. And I saw that he had like a glove that covered all his fingers because he didn't want to leave fingerprints while he was robbing a store. But I hate to say the name dummy, but with his thumbs didn't have the gloves on them. So of course he left prints on the store, all over the store. And then the coppers picked him up. And that was like he did some time. So look, no putting him there down. He's had a great career. You have to say deserved he deserves all this, but to trot him out from May to November, running in and out of countries and states and provinces. Okay, it's the last time the fans want to see him. The shows are sold out where I live, but the guy's probably not able to sing much better than average. He's not putting out much. He's not. I saw a show from January 2019. I went on YouTube, and he could pull it off, but he was like, it wasn't easy for him. You could see he was straining, but he did do it. So if he's as good as that, maybe I'll go down to my arena, plop the big money down by myself because my one friend that wants to go is financially having issues, and he owes me for the last show. And I have another friend that's going, but he already has reserved seats, so I can't sit with him. So maybe I'll go, but if I see, I'm going to be looking at those shows leading up to June. If I see that this guy is croaking out those vocals, I'm sorry. I have the one time I saw you in '83, and the one time I saw you with Black Sabbath in 2014. Now, if I've got to pay $300 to sit halfway away from the stage just to hear the great guitars and drums and bass and keyboards, and you're standing there like a propped up statue, then I don't know if I want to go. But I'm going to have to figure it out because I'm getting old too. And I don't know if I want to keep running down. And I get squeezed by all these big fatzos to the left of me and to the right and in front and behind. And I'm crammed into the seat that's built for somebody who's 5'4" and 137 pounds. And I'm 6'2" and 210 for Christ's sake. I can't sit in those seats unless it's an aisle seat. And good luck getting those. So I'm sitting there squeezed in beyond belief. And I'm praying for the show to end because I'm uncomfortable. And I can't move my legs. My legs are like frozen. I got a big oaf on every side. They could use this particular man. I want to do his imitation, Doctor Now. Listen, I'm putting you on a 1,200 calorie a day diet, and you are now 600 pounds. You have to be 540 pounds in 2 months when you come back. You are allowed to eat salad and fruit and some seeds. Love little seeds and throw them in your mouth. If you're eating pizza, we're going to have to say you're not ready for this weight loss surgery. So you're going to come back in 2 months, and then we're going to evaluate the situation. And the guy's like got lymphedema, a big mass on his leg and his foot. They say under 5% of these guys pull it off, or women too, obviously. And it's a very sad show. But I love the show because I love that doctor. He's got a bit of a pot himself, but he gives a little story to all these fat people, and they heed. Most of them don't. Most of them eventually stick to the diet, and they get the weight loss surgery, and they're okay. God knows how many don't get through. They show the odd one that doesn't make it because they pigged out so much they couldn't stick to the diet. But those are the ones that I like the best because they're more real. The woman can't eat the leaves and the lettuce and the carrots and the boiled chicken without skin. She has to go for those hot dogs and chicken fritters and greasy hamburgers, pizzas. One guy was eating 3 pizzas a day and one big breadish type thing. I don't know how this guy quit and lost all that weight, about 300 pounds at least. And they ended the show that he had more to lose, and that was it. But still, it's quite a show. Last but not least, before I get to some drummers, Kobe Bryant died. The world is in tears. Out of 30 people that I heard talk about him, only one mentioned the sexual assault, that the rape that kind of went away. We all know Kobe Bryant, nothing against his talent. Maybe he was a good father, what husband, I don't know. But there was a case in Utah or Colorado, forced himself in a girl. Somehow it went away. Well, these things go away for potentially checks are written, let's put it that way. So they go away. A la Ben Roethlisberger from the Steelers. These things tend to go away. Then he bought $1 million ring. He called it a house on a finger, put it on his sweet wife, and it all went away. So all the beautiful things I heard yesterday about Kobe this and Kobe that, who was too stressed out to go in the traffic. I have nothing against the guy. He made me a bet when I bet he was going to score under 37 points, and he got injured during the game. I made $200 or $300. I loved Kobe then because I didn't win all the time, so was happy to win that one because he couldn't finish the game. He was injured, so he scored under the 37 points, scored about 6 points. So thanks, Kobe, for that. I'm not against you. I don't know you. You don't know me. We'll never know each other. It's okay. I don't care. All I'm saying is don't put him in a sainthood. There was a girl that sat in a bed that she didn't want to have sex with him, and he did, and it kind of was okay, and all the cheating that went on, that Chuck, outed him for, and all the bitterness that went on with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe. It's all okay because he's dead, so everything is forgiven. Well, forgive him, I guess. God knows how the girl felt when this big giant praying mantis forced himself on her, and well, maybe it was worth it if she got that money, but I don't know. I don't know the girl. I don't know Kobe. I would think it's not worth it because women should be respected, and if they don't want to do anything with a guy, they shouldn't have to. Period. Okay, my ranting is. I guess that's it for that. Now I got to go fish through my list. My fish is on my list. Okay, shouldn't be too hard, but I got a lot of emails, and I got to find the ones that pertain to. I think this might be the one. Let's see the name, because I'm going through the best drummers. Steve Jordan is the next one. So now I got to find my list of drummers, which should be not far. And let's see what I can say. You know what? I'm constantly dumping these emails, but they just keep coming back. There's just so many. So many. Now let's see if I found. Look at this. I found it, people. My non-professionalism will not be outed in a major way today. I will fool you to make it look like I know what I'm doing, but the truth is, I know a little bit what I'm doing, and that's about it. Okay, we are at Steve Jordan. Let's see if I can figure out much about him. An R&B and soul guy. Started playing with Stevie Wonder, so there's a name that you can drop. Jazz fusion. The Expensive Winos. I think I might have done this guy, but you know what? It's okay. I currently have, tuning into my show, a total of nobody, but maybe they'll pick up and listen. A few kind people out there will listen. So Steve Jordan, you made it to number 80 according to the Rolling Stone. You were part of the fictional reunion band, the Blues Brothers. You've done some stuff. Um, Next is a guy I've heard of pretty well. I saw one of the members of his band that he was in, Mick Avery, great drummer from the Kinks. And yes, I did see Ray Davies and talk to him from the Kinks. So don't know if there's a lot of stories to talk about. He really got me. That was him. He played the tambourine on that only, because obviously the session guys were hoisted on these bands. But he didn't get a lot of talk, but these guys obviously appreciated him. He was apparently asked to be in the Rolling Stones, but didn't go there, obviously. Excuse me. But they had fights with the people in the band, and well, no big shock. But he played on a lot of King songs, so good for him. Great drummer. Mickey Waller, let's see, jazz again. They love the jazz blues. But I'm trying to see if it was Jeff Beck Group. Certainly know them. He was part of that. Rod Stewart's albums was on those. I know Carmen Apici was on some of those too. But we're talking about that guy. Mo Tucker, I think I know that. Was she Velvet Underground? Maybe. Velvet Underground, yes. Number 77 on the Rolling Stone Greatest Drummers list. And they were very impromptu band that improvised probably in the studio. I know a few of their songs. I had the Greatest Hits tape. She was on heroin and all this. So if they think she's worthy of that number of 77, then who am I to argue? But her style of drumming, according to Lou Reed, it was amazing. Here we go. Earl Young, number 76. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I met one of those Blue Notes. Now, this Earl Young drummed on The Love I Lost. He was part of MFSB, Mother, Father, Sister, Brother. Did some work with Philadelphia Soul, OJ Records, Spinners, The Tramps, Disco Inferno. So obviously paid his dues. Earl Hudson, I know that name very well. Number 75. Bad Brains, Jazz Fusion. Maybe I'm thinking of the actor Earl Hudson. Probably I know better. He says he took a Dave Grohl took a riff off of him for It Smells Like Teen Spirit. So he knew his music. A lot of people are saying that he influenced them. Bad Brains, but I don't know much about them. I've heard of them. 74, Michael Shreve. Part of the Santana Woodstock era. Country. A lot of stuff about him. I'm really not going to go into the details. The nitty-gritty of a drummer I never heard of. They're going into the bluesy stuff here again, so they obviously feel that was an amazing part of his work. Did work with Pat Travers, Boom Boom Out Go the Lights, and some two Rolling Stones. That's their songs. Must have worked with the Stones. Got his name in there too. Okay, Pete Thomas, number 73. Elvis Costello's band, must be the Attractions, was on My Aim Is True. Glad to see some of these guys getting high marks on this list, because let's say, face it, Elvis Costello is the only name people think of when they think of Elvis Costello and the Attractions, but they don't think of Pete Thomas. I never even heard of him. But obviously Costello liked him, and there he was. James Norman Williams, number 72. Jazz trained again, out of my realm, but he joined Ohio Players, who I know love Roller Coaster and more. Funky ball stuff. So, all right. There he gets the accolades. Number 71 of the best drummers, according to Rolling Stones. Allman Brothers, Butch Trucks, and Jamoy. I know Butch Trucks. He might be alive. There's a few of them dead. Johnny Jamoy, Johansson. Okay, so these two guys worked together on blues stuff, Whipping Post, Muddy Waters, Trouble No More. Okay, I mean, I like the 3 or 4 songs I know from the Allman Brothers, but and I've heard great drumming out of them. But that's the great thing. Okay, 70. Here's a guy Tommy Ramone. Okay, so I think I missed seeing Tommy by 6 months because I saw the Ramones the first time, 78. And then I looked it up and I saw that earlier that year or late in 77, Tommy Ramone left. So I think I saw the three original Ramones with the second drummer. Uh, this is my calculation. So I did not get to see him, but the records are there for all of you to hear. They're a great band. Number 69, Dale Crover. What am I? Why these guys playing in Nirvana? They say playing in Nirvana, but Dave Grohl was the drummer. So, but okay, he must have played in Nirvana too. I don't know. Then B sides, tracks, 30-year stint with the Melvins. Okay, I do know them. They came from the same town or area as the Nirvana. So he must have just been friends with them and was great. And he threw himself in the band here and there. Number 68, Jerome Bigfoot Braley. In 1975, George Clinton, okay, played with them. You heard Fame, so he must have been the drummer for Fame. And maybe a lot more, obviously. Braley would remain aboard this. He was there until 78, 75 to 78 with Parliament Funkadelic. P-Funk. That was Parliament Funkadelic. They call it P-Funk. George Clinton still alive with that crazy, freaky hair, multicolored rainbow hair. So that's it. Not a band I've heard much. I did dig them up just to see what they sounded like, and I did like them. Greg Erko, 67, 70 years old, who's part of Sly and the Family Stone. I went through a listed 7 songs of theirs on YouTube, and he was the drummer there. I saw a lot of Sly Stone being interviewed and live performances. So he was in that band, and they were great. So I'm happy to hear that he's getting his dues. Number 66, Kenny Aronoff. Well, he has a website, Kenny Aronoff, and I asked him a question, and sure enough, within a few hours, he answered me. So thank you, Kenny Aronoff. You're in at 66, known as Mellencamp's drummer. I've seen him live because I've seen Mellencamp live twice. And he's also been in many, many, many sessions. This guy is a session guy. Studio beatsmith for Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Neil Diamond, Eric Clapton, John Fogerty, Sting, The Smashing Pumpkins, Lady Gaga, and tons more. This is the kind of guy, if he answered my email, if I said, would you be on my show, he would probably, I would have a 12% chance of him saying yes. And that would be the biggest star I would ever have at this point. I might actually think of doing that. But if he doesn't realize that I don't have a massively popular show, that is. Number 65, Sly Dunbar. Okay, reggae drummer. He was in a band called The Upsetters. Excuse me for that. That's really bad. I don't have a cough button. Peter Tosh and Black Uhuru's bands. So Sly Dunbar, Robbie. That was them. They were from that scene. Not a big expert on them. Number 64, Chad Smith. I've seen this name before. Okay, Red Hot Chili Peppers. So he was there. From Detroit. You've heard the Chili Peppers. These guys think he's an amazing drummer. And they're still around, Chili Peppers. I'm assuming he's there. He was in Chickenfoot with Sammy Hagar. Number 63, Dennis Chambers. You definitely know that name. Number 63, Parliament Funkadelic type of style. House drummer for Sugar Hill Label. Rapper's Delight. He was drumming. And Blink 182. No, he wasn't in that band. Travis Barker liked him, talks about him, etc. Number 62, Tony Thompson. Now, where I don't know that, but he was part of Chic, so I don't know. I do know that, but the 80s as well. Addicted to Love, Session Guys. You see, Like a Virgin, he played drums on that. Good Times, put gums on that. Grandmaster Flash. So he was big on in that vein. Giving you the last one, Clem Burke. I think he was in Blondie. Yeah, there it is. 61. Clem Burke in Blondie. Was he one of the guys kicked out of the band and replaced, or is he still there? I don't know. But there was a couple of guys in Blondie that got booted by Debbie herself and maybe her husband Chris Stein. Um, I haven't listened closely, intently, but I know all the Blondie songs. So, which I'm gonna go with the fact that he sang, that he drummed on all the big early hits of theirs. And since I can think of the song "Heart of Glass," and that was phenomenal drumming. So this is where it ends. The ranting's been done. The computer fixing has been done. The show's been done, and the next show could be on my birthday next Monday. If I'm up to it, I probably will be. And look for a birthday show. Maybe I'll do famous birthdays and talk about birthdays. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Have a good day. Eddie G's Music World, January 27th, 2020. Goodbye.